Welcome everyone to the gathering place where friends become family. With no further ado, let's get started on this project. For the first part of our project, we will be using some jute rope, jute cord, some water-based wax paint by Waverly, a roll from a toilet paper without the toilet paper, and a snowflake. And of course, you guys already know that I did get several of these wired rounds, so we're going to use this one for this project. We're also going to use some yarn. I then cut the yarn into strips, guesstimating that I cut them anywhere from 8 to 9 inches. And the objective here is to tie our yarn onto the wired round, forming a tree. This knot in particular is called the lark head knot. So I'm going to show you how to do the lark head tying method. It's very easy. I'm going to grab one of each color of these strings. Then I'm going to go ahead and line them up. Then fold it in half and line them up with the other side of the strings. Then toss that little loop right under the wire and thread the rest of the strings right through the loop. And this is how the tree turned out after trimming it. Now I'm just going to wrap the rim with some of this jute rope. This next step goes as follows. I made sure first that our wired round was turned upside down so that I have the back part of it. Then I went ahead and trimmed my tree a little bit more because there was some parts that were uneven. And at the same time, I'm adding my jute cord onto my wires. Now we're just going to add a snowflake to our tree. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and paint it with some wax Waverly paint. Now I'm just going to cut a piece of this toilet paper roll to create the trunk of our tree. For this second part of the project, we're going to use jute rope. We're going to make a couple of Christmas trees with some jute rope. Here I grabbed one whole rope from the Dollar Tree. I fold it in half, pinch it from the top, and then zigzag each side of the ropes, forming a tree. And then cut off the excess rope, leaving a little stem at the bottom of the tree. For this next tree, we're going to go ahead and grab another rope, and we're going to do the zigzag method, forming one whole tree. For Christmas tree number 3, we're using the remainder rope from the previous one, and basically all we're doing is just cutting out pieces of rope, and each piece we cut it a tad bigger than the previous one. So basically all I'm doing is wrapping some jute twine around each branch, and just like I cut my branches a tad bigger than or longer than the previous one, I'm doing the same thing with the twine, wrapping it a tad longer than the previous one. Last but not least, tree number 4, we're going to use this wire, and we are going to wrap the jute rope around the wire and use the zigzag method as well, only in this wire version. It comes out really nice. What I like about working with wire, it's so forgiving. If you mess up, you can redo it. Like for instance, this one, I ended up making it so wide and so big. So I redid it and came down to the perfect size. I want this whole project to coordinate very well. So what I'm doing is painting all my wooden pieces with this Waverly wax paint. I went ahead and took advantage of this moment to paint my beads, not for the next coming project, but for the following one. It's time to put our Christmas tree together. As I'm putting my branches down, I'm facing all the imperfections upwards. That's the same side I'm going to glue my popsicle stick on. I created the stems or the trunks for my trees off camera by cutting 3-inch piece jute rope, folding them in half and wrapping them with some jute twine. What I'm going to do with these trees, I'm going to put them together with the next project and form a beautiful garland. For this third part of my project, I'm going to make a 3-tiered layered tassel. Never made one before. I'm going to use this process. I don't know what the actual one is like, but this one worked out perfectly fine for me. What I did is I wrapped this green yarn about 12 to 15 times. And what I'm going to do with the next colors, I'm going to add 20 more wrappings than the previous one. So if I added 15 wrappings to this green one, on the orange one, I'm going to add 20 more, which will give me 35. And then on the yellow one, I'll add 20 more from the 35. So I will be, wow, I'm not that good at math. I will be adding 55 on the yellow one. I love the way they turned out. I did try making these tassels in 2 other different ways, but this was the easiest and the fastest way that I can think of. I will be looking up to see how you actually make these 3-tiered tassels and see if any of the methods I used were any of the actual method. So now we're just gonna trim each of the colors and then brush out the yarn evenly so that they hover nicely over the previous color. and then the previous color won't bleed through, because we're going to go ahead and add a little neck, and I don't want the orange to come through the neck. I want it to be just the mustard color sitting over the orange, or covering over the orange, if that makes any sense, guys. Alright, for this next project, we're going to use the same color schemes that I've been using throughout all of these projects that I've been making, because in the end, we're going to put all these projects together and it's going to be one big, huge, nice, beautiful, humongous, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious decoration. I'm going to go ahead and share this hack with you guys. I really don't feel like getting any paint onto my fingers. I mean, I could use some gloves, but I do want to share this hack with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get some either sandwich bags. In this case, these are snack bags. So we're going to add 6 beads onto each bag, and then add color, mix them up very well. And then with the skewer stick, we're going to pull them out, remove the excess paint with a paper towel, then put them out to dry, and then create a nice garland with all these beads. So now it's time to thread our beads. They're nice and dry. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to put a big one, which is the one with the Waverly wax paint, and then one small one, which is the color one. So it's one big, one small, one big, one small. And there is a certain pattern. I believe I'm doing a yellow, blue, green, orange, and so on. I painted these Dollar Tree letters off of camera with the same color scheme that we're using for all the other projects. And what we're going to do with those letters is we're going to stick them onto these tags that I made out of burlap ribbon. So now what I'm doing is I'm using one of the already made tags as my template. I'm going to go ahead and cut the burlap ribbon. Then I'm going to fold the corners, cut them out to create that tag. And then I'm going to hole punch a hole in the area where we're going to add some jute cord, and then tie it up to some more jute cord to form a garland. So my tags are going to read Feliz Navidad, which is a Merry Christmas. I do encourage you guys to stay till the very end. My daughter totally loved my trees, and since she likes the boho style, I went ahead and made her some with some macrame rope. Alright everyone, with that said, thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so. Press the thumbs up symbol if you like this video. Share my videos. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye.